Jason Derulo and Take You Dancing, and before that I played for you Under Control with Calvin Harris, Alesso and Hurts in that one as well. This is Lunchtime with Michael right here on Nova Radio Northeast 102.5 FM. Right then, let's get cracking. Steve, Larry, thank you so much for joining me. How are you both doing?
Champion, thanks for asking us, Michael. Very good, thank you.
No worries. Now, I want to say, before I get going with today's interview, it is worth mentioning my previous interview with you, Larry, is on my YouTube channel, Michael Hepple Interviews, so why not check that out later on. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So, since we last spoke, your EP, Old Socks, had been released around 2 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, Odd Socks.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Odd Socks. And your album Old Shoes with New Laces had came out in 2017. Have they continued to do well?
Yeah, not too bad. Since then we've got another one out, 6 tracks on an album called Barefoot Blues, which is all blues music. So that's quite an interesting project as well.
And obviously our latest single has just got on Spotify yesterday is John Lennon, which hopefully you'll play later on.
Yeah, we will do, and we'll talk all about that as well later on in the interview as well. And of course, the last time, Larry, we spoke, we were somewhere in the coronavirus pandemic. What or how even did you get back on your feet?
Well, the worst thing for me was I didn't play any gigs for about 16 months. So,
yeah.
And so I didn't do anything at all. So since coming back from that, we've done a few things with On Parole. We've had an acoustic band out. I've done a few gigs since then by myself, but I'm only doing the gigs now where I get asked, which are nice places.
But I mean, during the pandemic, when we were in lockdown, we did some recording. In fact, I think Homesick Blues and We Got the Blues were recorded over the internet because we couldn't get to see each other. We just talked to each other on Zoom and social media, passed tracks backwards and forwards between me and Larry and Steve Coates at Red Tape Music, and those 2 songs were produced, you know, when we're all in our separate bedrooms, away from each other, you know.
Yeah.
So quite a lot went on during the lockdown, which obviously you're stuck in the house, but you've got more time and you can still communicate with people, and you pass the songs around and pass ideas around.
Yeah. We're so lucky as well because on the 3 albums that we've done, we've had some fantastic guest musicians. On keyboards, we had Liam Fender and Gordon Hall, who've done some fantastic stuff. We also had saxophone by Mick Lorraine and Phil Corbett, some clarinet by Phil Corbett, and some harmonica by Steve Payne. And these lads have, along with Steve Coates at Red Tape Music, have just lifted the songs to a different level. You know, so we're really pleased that we've worked with some really good local players as well. So
yeah. When you write a song and it's just words and strumming guitar, it sounds okay or it sounds good, but when you get these other instruments in and, you know, the really good musicians, it just lifts the whole song. Yeah, totally. And we're really pleased with you know, the final results, and that's why we decided to put them on Spotify and let other people hear them, and hopefully other people can hear them, and we'll play them.
Just with you mentioning there, Larry, I think you said the name Liam Fender. Is that any relation to Sam?
Yeah, his brother.
His brother? Ah, there you go. See, I was just thinking that when you were saying that there.
Well, Liam's actually, he's a fantastic songwriter in his own right. He's got some cracking songs out, and he plays keyboards, he plays guitar, he can play the drums, he sings. He's a real talent, Liam. In fact, I've heard lately on the grapevine that he's got something coming up soon, so good luck to him. We hope it goes well for him. Yeah, he's a cracking player.
Very, very nice. Now, if memory serves me right, at the time as well, when we're talking, you were working on new material in those challenging times. Talk to me about Homesick Blues and We've Got the Blues.
Well, Homesick Blues is written by Steve. In fact, Steve did the guitar intro. He played it. He sent me a tape of how to play it. And basically, I copied what he'd done on the electric guitar, and then I put a harmony guitar in. But he wrote most of that song, and then we got Mick Lorraine in on the saxophone.
Well, these are the 2 songs that were done over the internet during lockdown. You know, as I say, we're just passing the ideas backwards and forwards. I did some recording in my house and sent the recording to Larry. He learned his parts and improvised the solo, and It's just, yeah, it just happened. And then it all went to Steve Coates at Red Tape Music, who pulled it all together.
And then We Got the Blues, I think I mainly wrote that one. And then I did this weird 5/4 section in the middle, which I didn't do on purpose. It was a total mistake. And then me and Mick Lorraine had to put solos on the top of this 5/4 section, and it was absolute mayhem. But that was another one that's been played quite a lot. Well, both of those have been played quite a lot by blues stations around the world. So I'm glad you're giving us the chance to push them. And you should check out, actually, there's some cracking videos. If you watch the video for We Got the Blues, you've got to spot the trombone playing cat. That's all I'm going to say.
So the videos go out on my YouTube channel, which is Steve Rudd. I see there's several Steve Rudds around the world with video tube channels. But if you Google On Parole and We Got the Blues, you should come up with that song, and then you'll be onto my YouTube channel. But I've tried to do a little video for most of the songs we've done recently. So they're worth watching. Some of them are quite funny.
No, some of them are great. He's got Disney characters. He's got the Muppets in some of them. He's got Laurel and Hardy in. He's wasted his vacation. Should have been.
Well, that all came together during the lockdown when I had nothing to do, and I just started messing around and making videos. But hopefully you're going to play a Coffee House Rag later on, and that's, if you find that video on YouTube, that is the one where Laurel and Hardy are dancing to the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll give that a play later on for you. Naomi, congratulations to you both on your latest single, Oh John Lennon, which I'll be playing very, very soon for you. Now, what's the story behind that one?
Well, the main story is what a state the world's in at the moment.
Yeah. It's a protest song, really, about climate change and all that sort of thing. But basically, the rich people in this world have got all the money and could put a lot of things right, and the poor people haven't got a penny, and they've just got to get on with their lives, and that's it, really.
Except they're not doing it, are they? So it is a protest song. It's like sort of like a 1970s style protest song.
The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and I don't think anything's going to change.
And we get to sing a couple of songs in harmony.
We've just got to get on with our lives and enjoy it, because we're not going to have the money to do anything about it.
Well, let's hope somebody listens to your music somewhere and throws a penny or two at everything you want to change.
Have you seen the price of food these days? £5 a pint.
Yeah, I work at Tesco's, mate. I know the price of food's gone right up.
Well, 4,000 plays on Spotify will probably buy us a pint, so get it on your playlists and keep on listening.
Get cracking.
Yeah, now Larry, I know you have a solo career as well. Where have you performed recently, and how's the reception's been for you?
Did the Duke Shed in North Shields last couple of weeks ago, and that was really good. Nice crowd in there. This Friday, the 23rd of September, I'm down at the Lower Lights, 9 o'clock.
Oh, lovely bar.
And I've got a couple of more gigs at the Lower Lights in October and November. I'm up to Hexham in December, but I'm cutting back. I'm only playing the nice places now, where I get asked. Hopefully on Friday at the Lower Lights, we might have a special guest.
But then again, you might not.
But then again,
is that all you're saying on that matter? And how did you find the Crossing the Tyne Festival this year?
Well, I got the Alum House in South Shields, and unfortunately my guitar broke down, so I had to be mic'd up, which didn't work too well. But there was some cracking people on that day. There was a couple from Canada came across, and there was a lass from Texas, Red Iris. She was really, really good. She was excellent. Check her out on Facebook, she's good. But it was another nice occasion where it was raising money for charity, and Steve Willis obviously putting his heart and soul into it. So I'll roll on next year, 2023.
And it was warm as well. You had good weather. I think you had good weather that weekend as well, didn't you? It was really, really warm.
And I got to go on the ferry. It was like being a kid again.
Did you get to see any other performers or any other places? I know you said you went to the Allen House, but
I didn't get a chance to see any in Shields, at North Shields. I just saw the ones that were on it at the Allen House with me down South Shields. But there's some really good people on. Yeah, very good.
What about yourself, Steve? Were you down there as well?
Well, it always falls when I'm on holiday, so I think I was in Scotland at the time.
Oh, lovely. And then obviously you were just saying before we came on there about Jackie Davidson, I think, did you see he writes poems? And you was putting music towards that?
Yes, well, I don't know how we got involved, probably through Paul Kersop, who used to work at Nova Radio, was friends with Jackie Davidson. Jackie Davidson writes poems, and he just got together with Paul and he wanted somebody to start putting music to his poems. And so we've ended up doing two, I was going to say LPs, that's an old word, two CDs or two albums with him. And basically, there was several musicians involved, and everybody gets a choice of a couple of songs, and you just get presented with this poem, and you've got to write some music for it, and that all went back to red tape music again, flying backwards and forwards over the internet. And there's two albums out there by Jackie Davidson and several musicians. One is about Northumbria, and the other one is called Testaments, which is all about the life of Jesus Christ. But that's absolutely fantastic. Some fantastic songs. Again, they're out there on YouTube with some videos, which I didn't do, but somebody else has done. They're very good. And he's had a lot of feedback saying everybody thinks the songs and the poems are great. Yeah. So yeah, that was it was really a good experience to be involved in that.
I think he was telling us that the album Northumbrian and Proud was being played by Tim Healy quite a lot, didn't he?
Oh, right, yes.
And the other album is called Testaments, and there's some great people playing on there as well. Steve Emerson and Paul Kersop and Ian others. I can't mention them all off the top of my head now, but some really good performances on there, and they've been really well recorded once again by Steve Coates. He's put a lot of work into that album, a lot of work.
It's funny when you mentioned Tim Healy, because I've just started getting into the Sunday for Sammy's, and I know everybody's sitting there going, "Where you been?" But no, I have. Like literally, my friend, he's been getting all the DVDs from charity shops for like next to nothing.
Right.
So he's been lending us them for every 2 years in order.
Yeah.
So I think I'm up to 2014 now. But obviously, I didn't realise how much of a good singer Tim Healy actually was.
Oh, I know.
He's he's a good comic. He's a good comedian. But actually, hear him sing as well is like really, really good.
Yeah, all those people like Jimmy Neal and what do you call him, Brendan Healy, the late great Brendan Healy. He used to do all the stage show for that show and everything. He's fantastic.
Oh, he was so funny.
Great comedian.
So funny.
Couldn't he? Was great, him.
But he's a good piano player as well.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And then literally just my final question to you, which is totally off topic, but it's also like really relevant at the minute. What do you make of the modernisation works going on in our town centre of North Shields?
Well, I think the Howard Street is absolutely magnificent, and the square is looking great, and obviously the refurbishment of those houses, the townhouses that overlook the square, it's looking good, and it's good to see North Shields on the up, isn't it? You know,
it's going to be fantastic when it's finished with the new bus station and everything. I just wish they would finish it quicker. I mean, the scaffolds up everywhere, especially around the exchange where we'll play quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it just looked as if the place was shut because the scaffold was up for so long. But yeah, it's starting to look fantastic.
A bit of a plug actually for the exchange, because the Exchange Theatre bar, it's got this fantastic bar with this lovely courtyard, and it should be used more. It's a really nice place to have a pint and a good scone.
Some good real ale as well.
Yeah, it's really good. So
It's a beautiful bar, that one. I've been at that one myself.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah. But don't go there on Friday, go to the Low Lights Tavern.
Yeah.
And then just as well, yeah, social media, just feel free to plug away now.
Well, we're on Facebook, so if you look for On Parole, you'll find that on Facebook. The website is onparole.uk. You'll find us on YouTube and Spotify by just putting in On Parole or On Parole UK. And if you could, we'd be very grateful if you could listen to it and 1,000 times and then buy with half a pint.
And also, I've got Larry Page Acoustic Music on Facebook. Please go on there and give us a like or whatever, you know. Yeah. And have a listen to some tunes. Yeah. And I've got one on there called The Battlefield Biker Tragedy, which I wrote about me dad's sister getting killed in the war, and Steve done a fantastic, brilliant video for it. So have a listen to that as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate it, and it's nice to see you actually in person, especially since the last time we spoke, Larry, it was over the phone.
It was.
And it was in awful circumstances in a coronavirus situation. Yeah. God knows which part, whether we were in one of lockdown 1s or 2s, or that bit where it was eat out to help out. Remember that? But yeah, thank you so much for coming in, and we'll catch up again soon when you release probably even more music.
Hopefully. Thanks very much for asking us,
Thanks very much.
Michael. Thank you very much, sir. You've been a star. Thank
No
you.
problem at all. And I'm gonna let's go now with the latest single by On Parole. This is Oh John Lennon.